This week on a special two-part anniversary episode of TechRap, we take a look at new devices from Google and HTC. And we'll play Pokemon on the Nintendo 2DS. Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and this is TechRap, your weekly source for tech news, gadget reviews, app recommendations, and social media tips. We've got a lot to cover this week. Just like Apple, this week the Cupertino-based company sends out invites to an October 22 launch event in San Francisco. Apple's last event for 2013 should see the release of updated iPads, new MacBook Pros, OS 10.9 Mavericks, and maybe even a new Mac Pro. 9 to 5 Google reports Google is working on its very own smartwatch. The smartwatch is reportedly coming very soon, possibly as early as October 31, and it will run on the upcoming version of Android version 4.4 KitKat. The report also suggests Google now will play a central role in the device. If you haven't heard about it yet, Google now provides contextual alerts like weather and travel information to Android users based on what it thinks you need. It also looks like Nokia is playing around with the idea of a smartwatch. A patent filing from August of last year shows that the company was looking into a watch with multiple screens. The concept smartwatch is called Facet. In this demo, you can see the device is a rather chunky version of Apple's Square iPod Nano. Users can switch between screens using a quick swipe up. What's certainly coming soon from Google is an update to its flagship smartphone, the Nexus 5. The Android-powered smartphone appeared briefly on the Google Play Store this week, listed at $349. Photos of the new device also leaked online this week, revealing a 4.95-inch smartphone. The phone is rumored to be powered by a 2.3 GHz Snapdragon 800 processor, 2 GB of RAM, and finally, LTE connectivity. It should run the upcoming version of Android 4.4 KitKat and could be available as soon as October 28. Following months of rumors, HTC finally releases a phablet version of its popular HTC One handset. The HTC One Max looks almost identical to the original HTC One and comes with the same metallic finish and ultra-pixel camera. The device, however, features a larger 5.9-inch screen and a fingerprint scanner on its back, and comes with a slightly updated version of its Sense user interface. Considering the phone comes 8 months after the release of the original HTC One, it's a bit disappointing that most of the specs didn't get an upgrade. The phone still runs off the same Snapdragon processor and does away with optical image stabilization. Just in case you're hoping to acquire Samsung's new flexible display smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy Round, we've got news for you. Units go on sale in South Korea this week for a massive 1 million won, or about $1,000 US. The device will only be available in limited quantities, possibly to test market reaction to the new form factor. Twitter is planning on bringing direct messages to a whole new level. This week it rolls out a feature that allows users to receive direct messages from people they aren't following. The option is available via a new tick box in a user's settings menu. Of course, if that option isn't available to you yet, you'll get it sooner or later. But that's not the end of it. Tech blog All Things D reports Twitter is working on a standalone app for direct messaging, similar to what Facebook did a couple of years back when it released its standalone Messenger app. With more and more users fearing that Blackberry is a sinking ship, the struggling smartphone manufacturer releases an open letter to users this week, assuring that we can, quote, continue to count on Blackberry. The company admits that though challenging times are ahead, it promises that necessary steps are being made to strengthen the company. Announced last August, the Nintendo 2DS arrives in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand this week. The new handheld gaming console is not necessarily an improved version of the 3DS or the 3DS XL. In fact, it's supposedly meant to cater to a younger market. As its name implies, gone is the stereoscopic 3D screen that allows users to play supported games in 3D without 3D glasses. We usually keep 3D off on our 3DS anyway, so this isn't necessarily a bad thing. But what's really different about the 2D is its slate-like design. Unlike previous iterations of Nintendo's dual-screen DS line, the 2DS does not have hinges and can't be folded shut. This design decision comes with its pros and cons. Because you can't fold it shut, there's no protection for its screen unless you purchase the optional carrying case. But we're actually loving this unconventional design a lot. Button placement on the top of the device means you're resting the palm of your hand on the bottom corners of the device with your thumbs outstretched. On the 3DS or the DS Lite, your fingers are usually bent in a 90-degree angle. Over time, you can develop carpal tunnel syndrome. With less moving parts though, the device does feel sturdier. A bit more rugged if you will, but not premium. We miss the glossy finish on the 3DS, but this new matte finish means no smudge marks, which is a great thing. Maybe a rubber back would have made it a bit better to grip. Both devices share similar specs, the same 3.5-inch upper display and 3-inch touchscreen, inner and outer cameras, motion and gyro sensors, and a 1,300 mAh battery which is rated for 3.5 all the way up to 5.5 hours of use. The top of the device has your standard button configuration: circle pad, control buttons, start and select, power, and home. Because you can't close the device to put it to sleep, a sleep switch is located on the bottom right-hand side of the device. Also on the bottom is the headphone jack. While we're on the topic of audio, the speakers on the 2DS are only mono, which is a shame, but earphones resolve the problem. On the top of the device are left and right buttons which are bigger and feel much better. The AC adapter port, game cartridge slot, and above that, an IR blaster. On the left side, the volume switch, and on the right, the SD card slot and stylus. 3DS users will notice the Wi-Fi switch is missing, but 2DS users get a larger 4GB SD card. Like the 3DS and the 3DS XL, the 2DS will play all standard DS and 3DS games. If you own one of those devices, however, there isn't a significant reason to upgrade. But if you're moving up from a DS Lite, then it's definitely worth making the jump. You'll be able to play games like the just-released Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. The device is currently Nintendo's biggest handheld, but it's also its cheapest DS. The 2DS sells for $129 in the US and in the Philippines for about 6,995 pesos. And that was TechRap. You know the drill. Follow Rappler.com on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. Join our conversation on Twitter using the hashtag TechRap. Send emails to techrap@rappler.com. And to find old episodes, you can go to our website. It's rappler.com/techrap. That's all for this week, folks. I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.